Hello. I'd like, if I may, in the second of these budget features, to talk a little bit about area governance. Empowered in the 2000 Local Government Act, this was probably the best thing that Labour ever did. And when it emerged into public, I played a key part, I hope, in helping set it all up. More importantly, though, I have a couple of times had the privilege of being the Wyke area chairman, so I hope as well that I showed how it could be done practically. Now, when I first joined the council back in 1983, it was basically just a district council, and housing was the big beast. And basically, if you weren't one of the big housing estates like Orchard Park or Bilton Grange or Marfleet, your chances of getting any attention were very, very slim. What we succeeded in the face of fierce resistance from the Guildhall. However, I think perhaps this can best be illustrated by the fact that the Bricknell estate, which I have the privilege of serving, was tacked on as a management area to Orchard Park. And after weeks of meetings about Orchard Park issues, I dared to suggest that perhaps we could discuss something on Bricknell estate, that we too had problems. I've never forgotten the reply of the officer. He just sort of looked rather loftily at me and said, "What, Councillor Ferrum? Is there grass growing between the paving slabs?" I can't remember what I had to say on the topic, but I can assure you it was fairly sardonic at the very least. That was typical of the attitude of the Guildhall in general, let alone the housing department. So once we got area committees, I was fortunate enough to be able to chair them and to start coming out with some policies that actually mattered. I can't remember all that I did. It's several years ago and it was quite a busy time, and you don't live in the past. There's always the battles of tomorrow to face. But I can remember I insisted that we had an asset management strategy, that we worked on the leaf picking schedule, and we worked on the gritting schedule. In other words, we did strategic stuff that mattered in Bricknell, and indeed in Avenues and Newland at the time. So in my budget, where again, if I may, I remind you that there were no increases in the housing revenue account and no increases in council tax, I proposed that we had a return to the original setup. I put in more budget for full-time neighbourhood coordinators in each ward, and instead of the 2 area directors that we're down to under Labour, I propose 1 area director per area. Again, a reversion to the status quo ante, if you will. This was properly funded and budgeted. Budgets have to balance, they have to be signed off as such, and it demonstrates my commitment to the fact that one size does not fit all, that in fact there is infinite diversity and infinite combination, and the council must be geared to respond to you and your local needs, not just aggregating to the majority who may shout the loudest, or indeed may have different but equally valid aims. Pluralism, subsidiarity. In other words, policies around you, structures around your needs, not you being shoehorned in to suit the Guildhall. Thank you for listening.